Very good, I'm off.
All right. Welcome, everybody. So I think we have a relatively brief agenda. I'll call this meeting to order. Do we have to do roll call? Nobody's online there, so I think we are good to go. So the first order of business, we will defer to next month as we have anybody do the meeting minutes. I will speak to that a little bit in my recreation chair update. So we'll just create a process so that we assign somebody each month so that we don't come to the
Who's doing it?
who's doing it in the last hour. So we'll move straight to public comment. Right here, public comment, anything that is not on agenda. We're here for agenda items. Okay, so I have two things for my recreation chair update discussion. So the first one is for the minutes. I think it just makes sense if we move to just rotating just one person a month doing the minutes. You can use ChatGPT if you want. You can use whatever you need, as long as you can kind of like double check and make sure that it's somewhat accurate. But if that makes sense to everybody, I think Jim can probably just kind of like make a list.
Recording in progress.
All right, perfect. All right, so it is 6:33, and I call this virtual school committee meeting to order via roll call. So we'll start in the top left corner of my screen. Chuck?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes, here.
And Tom here. So we are called to order. A quick review of the agenda. We have 2 items to quickly go through, and I want to thank the committee for their flexibility in doing this meeting. So we can especially execute the first item and get ourselves rolling. The first item on the agenda is the recommendation and vote to appoint the interim director of finance. We have the nominee here, Mr. Littlehale. Thank you for joining us. Dr. Milczewski, you'll introduce that topic when we get there. And the second one is the recommendation and vote of the budget transfers between cost centers for FY24 end of year reconciliation, which you all remember is a leftover from our last meeting to officially vote it. So with that said, Dr. Milczewski, will you do the introduction and the recommendation, please?
Great. I'd like to bring forth to the committee our nominee for the interim director of finance and operations role, Mr. Phil Littlehale, who's joined us tonight. Enclosed in the packet, you'll find Phil's cover letter and resume. And I'd just like to highlight a couple of things from his background that we think make him a excellent candidate for the role. First, as you'll see in his resume, Phil has been a CFO in Massachusetts public schools for close to 15 years, with time as a CFO in Salem, Boston Renaissance Charter, and also most recently Newburyport. Prior to his time in the schools, he has a pretty extensive background in finance and administration, and is a CPA by trade as well. I think given some of his qualifications, you can see why we believe that Phil will be able to jump right into some of the critical work ahead for our district and right into our FY26 budget process. And we think his technical skills and experiences will be a major asset to our district, and we'll be definitely excited to welcome him to our team. Also, his background in leading a variety of operational projects we think will be important for our district. And he shared a couple of times with me, he does love building projects. So I think that's obviously timely for us as well. We're thrilled to bring forth a candidate with his skill and experience. And I'd also like to thank our members of the screening committee who spent time and energy and shared their perspectives as we went through this process. Sean Brandt on the school committee, Sharon Engstrom, Jess Callahan, Kate Finnegan, Jeffrey Corum, and Jared Stanton, who's an RPS parent and also has experience in the sector as well. Their perspectives were invaluable in helping us to move forward in a direction that we think is best for the district. So I would, I don't know, Tom, if you want to first sort of move forward with your comments, or if you want me to give Phil the chance to introduce himself as well.
Why don't we have Phil do some introductions, and then we can see if there's any questions from the committee.
Okay. Well, again, I thank you for the opportunity. I'm excited to be joining Reading. I think I've got a lot of experience that I can bring to the table here, and hopefully I can make some contributions towards the district. some of you may know my wife is actually a paraprofessional in the district, so I'm very familiar with the district and all the things that have been going on. Got a lot of good programs going on, and did I just lose myself?
You did, yeah. You disappeared into space.
Went off to outer space.
There you
Phil.
go. Now you're back.
Sorry, the camera slid up on the top of my monitor.
There you go. It's
Sorry about
okay.
that. Anyway, I'm excited to be joining everybody there in Reading. I'm actually thrilled to be working with Tom again. Had some experience with Tom. We were both in Salem, so I think one of the advantages I'm going to have hitting the ground is Tom knows me, I know Tom, so we can get to work right away and get the budget up and get that going for fiscal year 26, and then start looking down the road for 27 and years beyond that in terms of trying to get the forecast out there, see what we're going to need. And I did say, yes, I do like building projects. I like being on those committees. I'm an operations guy at heart, so to me, it's a lot of operations in there. But I think with the background of operations and my CPA, it's a somewhat difficult combination to find in this world, and I think I do pretty well on both sides. So again, I thank you for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to starting in 2 weeks.
Great, thanks, Phil. All right, committee, any questions? Or Sean, do you want to start with any impressions or takeaways from the interview process and your feedback here? That would probably be beneficial for us as well, please.
Yeah, I think Tom said it really well in terms of what we were all enthusiastic about with regards to Phil. I think, the thing that shone through sort of most clearly were his technical skills in this area, and, just really sort of a sophisticated understanding of how school districts are funded, how school district budgets are operated and planned and prepared. And he understands full well sort of the nuances of working in a town construct versus a city construct, where much of his experience came from. So we felt really good about Phil and his background and his ability to succeed in this role right off the bat.
Great, thanks, Sean. Okay, any questions from anybody on the committee? Before we do that, let's start with the motion. Aaron, would you read the motion?
Motion to appoint Phil Littlehale as the interim director of finance.
Any second? Seconded by Chuck. Okay. Now, any other questions or comments from the rest of the committee?
I just, Tom,
Go ahead.
I'd like to welcome Phil and just, tell him I'm excited to be able to work with him. So thank you, Phil.
Well, no, thank you for considering me and appointing me.
Great. Carla, go ahead.
Hi, Phil. Welcome, and I'm looking forward to having you as another set of eyes and ears on the Killam project. So we're looking forward to that.
Great.
Can I interrupt 1 second? That you are using the OPM, aren't you, on that project?
All yours.
Correct. Okay. I'll just echo the welcome then as well. We're looking forward to having you come on, and as we go through the budget process, the multi-year forecast, whatnot, I'll be looking forward to get to know you more, point by point. And thank you for putting your hat in the ring as it goes, and for, I think as well, taking the interim role for the time being. And we'll see what happens at the end of it. Exactly.
Yeah, yes, for the time being, but I will do my best to work to get that title, the first word, taken off.
There you go. Okay. Tom,
Tom, I just want to echo something I've said a couple of times too, but I'd just like to thank Kate Finnegan for her work. I think Kate in the last couple of years is really behind the scenes, done an amazing job on everything finance in our district, but also especially as we've had a couple of week gap with Dr. Pinto's transition. And also she is really excited about having Phil jump on our team. I know Phil has also expressed his enthusiasm about having someone like Kate on his team to work collaboratively. And I think between the two of them, really solidifies the office for us. But I'd just like to thank Kate for jumping in, especially this month's the busiest month for her, the end of the year report, and jumping in and picking up everything else thrown her way in the transition. So huge thank you to Kate. She doesn't want any of the public recognition, but definitely deserves it, and is really, really, really effective in her role. So a big thank you to her, and looking forward to having her with a teammate by her side.
great indeed. And Phil, I think you'll be happy when you get to meet Kate as well and go through that. Just a point of clarification, Aaron, did your motion say finance and operations or just director of finance?
Just director of finance.
Okay, I think we have just a clarification, Tom. We want it to be finance and operations for now.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to friendly amend to add "and operations" to the motion. Any objection to that?
No.
Okay. Seeing any further discussion? Okay, we'll move to the vote. We'll do a roll call vote as well since we're virtual. So we'll start it again at the top. Chuck,
Yes.
Carla,
Yes,
Sarah,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
and Tom. Yes, it passes 6-0. Phil, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Looking forward to it. I know Tom wants me to start yesterday, but I have to finish up my interview report for Newburyport.
Indeed, understand. Okay, so let's move on to the second item in our agenda, and you get to watch the rest of the magic happen, right? While we're here, and some of the final transfers for the end of the year. So let's just start with the motion there, Aaron, for the transfers from that's a carryover from our past meeting.
And I'm itemizing these.
Itemize them. Yep.
Okay. Motion to transfer from regular day, $147,049, from health services, $28,096, from extracurricular, $15,981, from technology, $38,536. Transfer to administration, $5,597, special education, $224,065.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I think Sean got in there first. So motion
I did.
seconded by Sean. All right. Any final comments or notes, Dr. Milczewski, before we move forward with any further discussion? Okay. Committee, any further discussion or questions on this topic? Okay, great. Then we'll move to the vote. Chuck,
Yes.
Carla,
yes,
Sarah,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Sean?
Yeah.
And Tom, yes, and that passes 6-0 as well. That concludes our business today in this portion of this meeting. So we'll take one final motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Aaron, is
Second.
there second? Seconded by Carla. All right. Moving forward, Chuck,
Yes.
Carla,
yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Sean?
Yeah.
I think there was a yes. The mute came on and off real quick, but
Yes. Sorry.
all right. And Tom, yes, we are here so far adjourned at 6:43. Thank you everybody for your accommodation of this. I very much appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.